What you're looking at here is the FD6202 Advanced 2 Folder Inserter. This particular model is available in 3 different styles: the FD6202 Advanced 1, the 6202 Basic 2, and the 6202 Advanced 2. The biggest difference is the feed trays that are on the machine. This particular machine, the Advanced 2, has 2 feeder trays and 1 insert tray down here. Now the 6202 Advanced 1 has 1 feeder tray and 1 insert feeder. The 6202 Basic has 2 feeder trays, and obviously the 6202 Advanced 2 has 2 feeder trays and 1 insert tray. Now this particular machine really saves a lot of time by taking paper, an insert, a return envelope, folding it, stuffing it into an envelope, sealing it, and shooting it out the other end of the machine for mailing purposes. You've probably sat around a desk office or in a conference room with other people and have folded paper, have inserted it into an envelope, licked it, or used a sponge of some sort to moisten the glue and sealed it. And after doing that, you realize how long and how time-consuming that can be, not to mention the bad taste of the glue, paper cuts, and the time it takes for an employee to actually do that manually. So this particular machine will save you money in the long run. I'd like to show you, to start off with, just a few of the features, what you need to look at when setting it up, and exactly what's going on in this machine while it's being run. I'll start at the end here where the paper actually comes out of the machine, the folded paper in the envelope. The envelopes actually sit in here. I have it set up for a number 10 size envelope. It can use different size envelopes. So the important thing to remember is to always keep the flap on the far side when you load it into the folder inserter. There is a friction wheel down here that actually pulls the envelope, pulls it into the machine, and gets it ready to have the folded insert and paper to be stuffed inside of it. Now, again, you want this to be facing away. You do not want this to be facing towards the machine or you'll end up with the jam. So again, flap faces away. It is a bottom feeder, so you want to make sure you have that fan just a little bit so that the bottom envelope hits that roller so that it is what's pulled into the machine first. That should help prevent any kind of jam. When it pulls the letter into the machine, puts the paper into it and ejects the letter, it actually comes out up here and into this catch tray right here. Now I'll take you over here to the other end of the machine, which is where you actually put the paper in. You have one tray here, a second one here, and an insert tray. Now these side guides right here actually fold down, and if you get a good look inside the machine here, there are friction wheels that pull the paper in, and as I lift that down, it will lift that friction wheel up. And while that's lifted up, simply take your paper, insert it into the machine, lift that side guide back up, it lowers the rollers onto the paper, and you're ready to go. And that is one of the feed trays. Now there's also an insert tray which can be used to put a coupon, return envelope, basically anything up to about 3.5 inches long. And this, you just pull down this little tray here to close it. You lift it up to lift up the friction rollers. Insert your paper here, or your envelopes, or whatever you're putting into the envelope. Pull this down. The friction roller wheels land down on the paper, and it's ready to start pulling that paper into the machine. So again, lift it up to lift those rollers up. Let it down to let the rollers back down. And same here. That raises it, and that lowers it. It's the same on the top, middle, and bottom. Now this attachment right here actually gathers the material and gets it prepped for insertion into the envelope. Now if for any reason a jam occurs or you have to stop the machine and there's still paper in there, you can actually lower this and pull the paper out of there and get it ready to be fired back up again. Now on the insert tray, if you are using different size paper, you can actually loosen a little dial under here. Just turn it counterclockwise, loosen it up, and that allows you to adjust the side margins here. What I recommend doing is just putting the paper in a little ways, closing it, and then just adjusting that until the paper fit pretty well. And then you can tighten that dial back up and keep those side margins in place. Now you can also adjust the margins of the inserter here by doing the same thing. Just loosen that dial, and these slide in and out too. Once you have it exactly where you want it, just tighten it back up. Now I'm going to want to make sure that this is just right for our insert. Tighten that back up. Now this particular machine is designed to be used with 20-pound paper, which is your standard copy paper. Each of these trays can handle 325 sheets of paper, and the insert here can hold up to 45 sheets of paper. If you want to, you can actually do more than one insert. You can adjust one of these feed trays to be an insert as well, so you could have one sheet of paper with two inserts. That works just fine. Now right here, you're going to need to lift this little lip here up, and it will allow you access into the machine. Now it does have a gas piston here that just lifts that up for you. And this gives you complete access. Now this right here is attached magnetically. This gives you complete access to the inside of the machine. And as you can see here, this is where the two feed trays are located, and this is where the insert tray is located. And you can see the roller wheels here that pull the paper into the machine. The envelope is located right here. And these fingers right here actually are inserted into the envelope and keep it open. The water tray is right here. So if you are going to be using water, you can just fill it up here. This gets wet. And these brushes right here actually touch that soaked sponge and slide over the envelope. And that's what actually moistens the glue so that it can be sealed and it is prepped for mailing. Now the envelopes are pulled in through the feed tray here, and they're brought underneath the machine. Now for any reason, again, there's a jam, you can actually lower that down with this lever and pull those envelopes out. So if there is a jam, it's really easy to get into this machine and clean it out. You can also make fine-tune adjustments right here with these levers. I already have it set for a number 10 envelope, but if for some reason you're using a different size envelope, you can adjust at what position the envelope enters the machine and exactly where that paper will meet the envelope. And down here, there's a device that's basically used just to blow dust off of sensitive parts, sensors, and other pieces of mechanical equipment in the machine. And that is held in place right there. And once you're ready to put the machine back together, just simply lift the side tray back up. That's magnetically sealed, and bring this down. Now you don't necessarily have to lift this top portion up. You can open this up from the side as well if you need to have access to jammed envelopes inside the machine. If you don't want the envelope to be sealed, keep the water tray empty. Now this machine can also fold paper and not insert envelopes. You can tell the machine, I don't want to use an envelope, I just want to fold it. So it can act as a paper folder as well, not just a folder inserter. So it is multifunctional. If you're using a different size envelope, this dial right here will allow you to adjust the margins right here. And if for some reason it's pulling one too many envelopes or it's not pulling the envelopes at all, there is a retarder friction roller right here that you can loosen and tighten, and it will bring those two rollers farther apart or closer together, depending on what you need. The envelope hopper here can hold a maximum of 250 envelopes. Now you can use envelopes with windows or without, depending on your preference. Again, just fan those a little bit, making sure that the lip is facing away. Set those into the folder inserter, and you're good to go.